Hey y'all, Dennis from the Parking Den coming at you live once again from St. Louis, Missouri. Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about roller coaster closures. The Six Flags Cedar Fair parks, since they took over, they have been closing coasters in these parks. I think out of the parks they purchased so far, maybe not quite half, maybe just under half of them have announced a closure or have a closure going on of some sort in their parks. These closures being announced got me thinking about my hometown park of Six Flags St. Louis. What could close here? Now, so far for the 2025 season, there has been no closures announced. Every roller coaster is looking to be open this year in this park. And for the purpose of this video, we are just going to focus on the roller coasters. We're not going to worry about flat rides that may go or anything like that. Purely the 10 coasters that are in this park. What are safe? What's in danger, what's really in danger in this park. And I think there's definitely a few that are very much in danger here at this park. So I'm going to throw three at you really quick that I think are perfectly safe in this park. And those three are Rookie Racer, the Batman, and American Thunder. I think all three of these are fine. They're not going to go anywhere. Rookie Racer opened in the fall of 2023 for Fright Fest. It operated for all of the 2024 season, and it is just all around a great family coaster. It's one that I really enjoy a lot. If you've not rode Rookie Racer yet, you got to get on it, ride it in the back row, and tell me it's not a good ride. For a family ride, it really does a lot of work, and it's a lot of fun. As far as the Batman goes, these Batman clones, they're in every single park. Well, not every single Six Flags park, but they're in a lot of them. It is older at this point. I think this ride is pushing 30 years old at this point. However, it holds up very well. There's a reason that these Batman rides are in most of the Six Flags parks, and it's because they don't seem to take a lot to maintain. They hold up very well. I know people like to complain saying, oh my gosh, I gotta ride a Batman clone today, but when they get off of it, they're typically all smiles. It's a really fun ride. They're good rides. They're good inverted coasters. I do not think our Batman clone is going anywhere, nor do I think any of the other Batman clones are going anywhere. I think they're sticking around for a while. And then finally, American Thunder. American Thunder, a GCI Woody, an excellent GCI Woody. In my opinion, this is the second best roller coaster in this park. Now, I've not rode Boss since the Titan track has gone in on it. Okay, I'll be checking that out tomorrow, actually, because I'm recording this today, and tomorrow is a Sunday, and I'm going to head out to Six Flags St. Louis. It's supposed to be a beautiful day. So maybe the Boss will kind of reclaim that number 2 spot, maybe even the number 1 spot in the park. We'll see. But for me, personally, American Thunder is the second best roller coaster in this park. It is a great GCI Woody, and I just do not think it's going anywhere. My cat is in a box now. If you hear box noises, like something being tore up, that's my cat over in the background destroying something. Three more rides, three more I'm going to throw at you that I think are perfectly safe. That would be the Boss, Pandemonium, and the Boomerang that we have in this park. I don't think any of these are going anywhere. The Boss, obviously, they put Titan Track on it. You don't put Titan Track on a ride if you're going to get rid of it. It is the biggest roller coaster in the park. It should be the best roller coaster in this park. It's not, in my opinion. At least not 2024 Boss. Maybe 2025 Boss has reclaimed its rightful spot as the number 1 ride in this park. I'll be surprised if it beats out Mr. Freeze, but we'll see. But 2024 Boss, perfectly safe. I think that Pandemonium is very safe. This is a decent Wild Mouse. I enjoy riding it. You know, it's a spinning coaster, and just like any spinning coaster, it's very dependent just on the ride that you get with it. Sometimes it's awesome and you get a lot of airtime out of it and it's a lot of fun. Sometimes you get a little dizzy and you might feel a little nauseous getting off of it because it is a spinner. So it's how they go. The Boomerang is a boomerang, and it's actually an older boomerang. This one opened in 1989 down in Texas before it was moved up to Six Flags St. Louis, I believe in 2012 or 2013 is when they moved it up here. But it does serve a purpose. It seems like the Boomerang as well as Pandemonium are rides that like the kids love to get on these ones. And I mean, if they get rid of the Boomerang, what are they going to put there? Another Boomerang? A flat ride? I guess they could do like they did with Excalibur and just like tear it out and leave nothing there. They've done that at this park before, and they may do that again. I hope they don't, but they could. It'd be really cool if they took out this Boomerang and put in like an Invertigo style Boomerang like you see out at Kings Island, because I would actually ride that most times when I go to the park if there was something like Invertigo there. I don't think they'll do that. I think they'll just keep this boomerang in this park. It's just your standard Jolly Rancher boomerang. It actually does look kind of good, though. It does look pretty good with those bright colors on it, I think, where it's at in the park. But I don't think it's going anywhere. I think that these 3 rides are safe. I think they're going to be in the park for years to come. I don't think they're going anywhere. All right, now let's start getting into the rides that are a little more in danger. These first 2, I don't think they're in immediate danger, but I do think, on the 5 to 10 year plan, they could go. I could see something happening to these 2 rides. And the 2 rides in question are the River King Mine Train and the Screaming Eagle. I put them both here because they are old at this point. They are 2 of the original roller coasters in this park. The Mine Train was the original roller coaster in the park, and then I think Screaming Eagle was the second roller coaster to open in this park, I believe. Unless there was something else that opened when the park opened that I'm just not aware of, which if there is, feel free to put that in the comments. Let me know. I didn't really do much research on that, so I'm not sure. But these 2 are older. They're classics. For people around St. Louis, there's a big nostalgia factor with both of these rides. The River King Mine Train was my first ever roller coaster that I rode, and for a lot of people around here, that's the case. And then Screaming Eagle was like the first real roller coaster that I ever rode, and there's just a huge nostalgia factor for both of them. But that is not enough to keep a ride in the park, as we've seen with a lot of other rides that they've taken out of parks. Six Flags Cedar Fair, they're purely looking at that cost. And if the cost is not there, if the price is not right for them to keep these rides in the park, they will get rid of them. And these 2 are older. Mine Train, I think, will stick around. And I think Eagle will probably stick around too. But with Mine Train, I think it comes back to, most parks have a Mine Train style ride in it. And they just seem like they last forever. They run pretty well. Yeah, they can be a little bumpy sometimes, but they just, they're not so bad they're going to get rid of it. It'd be cool if they themed this one up a bit. And also, it should be noted, this is not the original iteration of this Mine Train. As much as I said it is like, the first roller coaster in the park, it's had several different forms over the years. When it first came out, I think it was like a racing coaster, or like maybe it was just like 2 of them ran at the same time, which wouldn't that make it a racing coaster? I don't know. And then it was converted briefly to a stand-up coaster. I don't think it even lasted a season, though, as a stand-up coaster. There was a death on it, but also there was other stuff that went on with that ride that was problematic for it, so they decided just to kind of put it back in its current form that it's in now. So I don't think Mine Train is going anywhere. I'd love it if they themed it up a bit. It is a fun one to do, especially in the dark during Fright Fest. Ride it in the back row in the dark during Fright Fest. It's a good time, but I wish they would do a little more theming with that one. Who knows? Maybe they will. Maybe they'll dress it up a bit, but I'm not so sure. Okay, Screaming Eagle. Screaming Eagle, I love Screaming Eagle. It is one of my favorite rides. There are people that say, actually, this might be one of the better roller coasters in this park. I actually put Screaming Eagle over the Boss. I think Screaming Eagle is better than the Boss, at least 2024 Boss. I've not done 2025 Boss. I will tomorrow. But I've not done 2025 Boss with the Titan track on it. So maybe it's now better than Eagle, but I love Screaming Eagle. Ride it on a hot July summer day where the track is warmed up. It's a good time. It's a lot of fun during Fright Fest riding in the dark. It can be rough. It can be a little bumpy sometimes because it is a roller coaster that I think is over 60 years old at this point. But I don't think it's going anywhere anytime soon. I could, though, see within 5 to 10 years, maybe just the cost of maintaining it is too much. Although if they've maintained it for this long, I feel like they're probably going to keep it around. Wouldn't it be ironic if Screaming Eagle was the thing that was RMC'd? Because everybody for years has been screaming RMC Boss, RMC Boss. They're going to RMC the Boss. I'm not sure they're going to RMC the Boss. Now with putting the Titan track on it. It would be really cool if they did decide to get rid of the Screaming Eagle and tear it down, if they built an RMC where the Screaming Eagle is that pays tribute to the Screaming Eagle. I mean, I think if they get rid of the Screaming Eagle, they have to do something like that. They have to pay tribute to it. It's such an iconic coaster for people here in St. Louis, and I think for people outside of St. Louis that know about it. They know that this coaster has a lot of history behind it. When it was built, I believe it had the tallest drop in the world, which by today's standards, it's like nothing. But when it was built, it was a really big deal, and it still is a really fun ride. I think Screaming Eagle is an airtime machine. It's a good time. Yeah, it's a little bumpy. It's a little shaky. It can be rough sometimes. It's an old wooden roller coaster, an old school wooden roller coaster, but it's still really good. Eventually, though, I could see it going because of its age. We are at our last 2 coasters in the park, and these are the 2 that I think are in danger. These are the 2 that I think within the next 2 to 5 years, they might both be gone. And those two coasters in question are the Ninja and my personal favorite, Reverse Blast Mr. Freeze. I know. The Ninja. Oh, Ninja. If you've rode Ninja, I don't even need to really say anything about this. It's rough, it's painful, it bangs the heck out of your ears if you sit with your head back. If you lean your head forward in the restraint, you run the risk of hurting your neck while you're riding it. It's just not a good ride. I don't care for it. I know some people say they think it's fine, it's okay, but it's get rid of it. That space could be used for something else. It also kind of comes up against one side of the park over there. So depending on how much land they own, they could tear down the Ninja and possibly put a hypercoaster in there that kind of goes out along the side of the park if they own enough property that they could do that with. This could also be a reason why Mine Train could be in danger too, because the Ninja does kind of butt right up against the Mine Train. And if they don't own property along that side of the park, but they needed a bigger amount of space, they could decide to get rid of the Ninja and get rid of the Mine Train to kind of build something that uses both of those pieces of land together. I don't know if they do that, but it could go. They also could just put something in where the Ninja goes, just another roller coaster there that would just fit in that space. They could totally throw something in there. I think about the Wonder Woman ride that's down at Fiesta, Texas. I think that would fit in that spot pretty easily. There's a number of things that I think could go in that spot and could fit there pretty well. So Ninja, I think, could go. I think it should go. And I'm hoping sometime in the next 2 to 4 years, they get rid of the Ninja and they build something else there. We get a new roller coaster in that spot. To me, that's the prime location for it. We need something there here at Six Flags St. Louis. Okay, on to the final one, my favorite ride, the one that a lot of people might be thinking right now, really? They would get rid of this one? Yeah, they might, and I think it's definitely on the chopping block. Reverse Blast Mr. Freeze, the number one ride in the park, one of the rides that I think makes this park a destination park for some people. It's got some issues, though. It's got some problems. So still, for as old as it is, like the Batman ride, this one is pushing 30, I think, at this point. It might even be over 30 at this point. But it still holds up pretty well. It still runs pretty well. I think it's pretty smooth. I think its launch is great on it. I love the reverse blastness of it. I love the reverse launch on it. I love when you're going up that spike at the halfway point through the course, how it starts to slow down and then the spike starts to pull you up, right? They have the mechanisms in there. I think they use magnetic stuff to kind of pull you upwards. And it really feels like it's going to throw you off the top of that thing and down into Thunder River. I love how it sits on the little island, right, that Thunder River goes around. It's such a great use of that space. But unfortunately, this is a ride that it costs a lot to maintain and operate. The power requirements are apparently pretty good for this one. Also, the mechanisms that move the trains on and off the tracks, I think that it costs a bit to maintain and run and whatnot. Just in general, there's been a lot of stuff going around saying that this ride cost a little bit to run and maintain and operate. And there was a rumor going around internally a little while back that Six Flags was even talking about how they want to get rid of both the Mr. Freeze rides. They want to get rid of the one in Texas and the one in St. Louis. This was like an internal thing that went around Six Flags. It's just rumored. I don't know if it's 100% true or not, but if that's the case, I think Mr. Freeze is on the chopping block at both parks. If you want to ride this thing, you better do it this season or next season because it might not be around much longer. I don't think it's going to be. I think they're going to get rid of it eventually. I think they need to get rid of the Ninja first and then get rid of the Mr. Freeze. In a perfect world, tear down the Ninja, build something new, then announce you're getting rid of Mr. Freeze, tear it down, but have that new roller coaster where the Ninja is. That way, people have something new and shiny to ride while they're lamenting the loss of Mr. Freeze, okay? And then you got to build something where Mr. Freeze is. You have to. You cannot leave open, vacant spots for these coasters like they did with Excalibur, okay? In the park. You have to put something new in there. And there's a lot of stuff that could fit on that island very well. I would love it if they cloned the Flash ride that they just put in, I think out in New Jersey. They have this new Flash ride out there that's just everybody's raving about, saying it's awesome. I think that would fit really really well in that space. I mean, Six Flags loves cloning rides, and that'd be a cool one to put in there. But there's other options. They could do other stuff. They could do a Mr. Freeze 2.0, right? Some updated version of Mr. Freeze, okay? That's bigger and better. But if you got to take it out, you got to put something new in there. You cannot tear out Mr. Freeze and then just leave that spot vacant and go, it just costs too much. Well, why are all these other parks getting investments then, okay? Put stuff in Six Flags St. Louis. If you want people to come to Six Flags St. Louis, you have to invest in roller coasters in this park. You got to update our lineup. All right, so that's what I think. What do you guys think? What did I get right? What did I get wrong? Feel free to comment below. Let me know. I'll be going to Six Flags St. Louis tomorrow, so you'll see another video coming out, another vlog of Six Flags St. Louis coming out. My not quite opening day vlog, because opening day was last weekend, and I'm going out there this weekend. It's actually a lot nicer this weekend, so I'm glad I waited. But I'll be going out there and checking it out and seeing what have they done to the park? What's going on in this park? All right, guys, I will see you all later.